message, a critical one for that matter,
That's right.
about their children engaging in something that was shocking even to them. I want you to give us that scenario and what you advise them and what your thoughts are on that.
Thank you. My passion in life is to make our children know before they wish they knew. So parents look at me so that I can be able to tell them what I normally call a hot talk, where I speak very honest, where I speak very openly, and I'm very truthful. So this one morning I wake up and I get a message on WhatsApp. A parent tells me, now, Catherine, what do I do?
Right.
Because my 17-year-old son and my 15-year-old daughter, they watch pornography, then they have been doing sex. And the mother tells me, Catherine, I don't know what to do with the two of them. And I quickly said, you have to do a few things. Number one, you yourself have to go for counseling, because already you're traumatized by the thought and what is happening to your children. Number two, you must take the two of them to the hospital. You must take them for counseling, and then you have to do a pregnancy test for the girl. And the mother said, now, Catherine, what happens if she's pregnant? I said, there's no other option than to grow the baby. So parenting has become very challenging because of other devices that our children are into, and they know more than us. Like pornography is one side that is heavily accessed by children and even adults. And unfortunately, in what you see, what you admire, you tend to imitate. So these 15, 17-year-old children in the house, they have watched all pornography. They are asking, can we do what we saw them do? And children see and children learn. So this long holiday must not go wrong with our children. Parents are shy to speak, but these children know everything. They can Google and want to know what is sex. It is important for us to know that, number one, sex is a creation of God. God tells us who should do sex, and God tells us when to do sex. Children have a full-time job called play. But if we don't structure the kind of games they are doing, they'll go out to do other things, because a holiday out of school is a very exciting time, and children also want to experiment. And this is not just a holiday, it's a long holiday. And now we are in December. And December is also, unfortunately, the peak of negative peer pressure. And nowadays they don't even call it peer pressure. They call it beer pressure. So parents, you have to be a hot parent. You have to be raw. You have to be nice and very real. Like now, because they are on social media, we cannot deny the fact that they know all what is happening about the many girls that have been killed. We have to be able to act like we are a scarecrow.
If you're always hovering around, you're always there.
A scarecrow is supposed to be scaring, but again, even as we scare our children, we must ensure that we are very connected with them. We must be able to have an open conversation where we listen. We are not talking to give instructions and to give rules and tell them do not, do not. We are communicating so that we can be able to listen, and not only listen to what they verbally say, we listen to their feelings. I normally tell parents we need to have eyes that hear. When we were growing up, our parents had eyes that could talk. They could look at me and I know I have not sat properly. These ones, you need to have eyes that will hear the damages they have taken them through. Because again, we are talking about children that are very fragile. And again, children that are also very precious. Children are the only precious, the most precious gift that God has given us. So parents, during this long holiday, we must get to know about our availability. We have to be intentional and deliberate. We must decide who is going to be with our children and how we are going to be with our children. Who and how, why. Actually, we can borrow from the kingdom of the animals, the dove, the bird. That dove, it babysits. The male will babysit and the female will babysit. So you must make sure that we play the role of a parent that is not only parenting, but you are parenting to protect. The challenge is my children may be parented right, but because we are in a society, the neighbors' children may also be mischievous. So we must make sure that we inform our children, we tell them of the expectations and the requirements we have. We must be able to be generous by these three things. We must give them time. And not only time that is structured. We must have a routine. The reason our children do not misbehave so much in school is because they have a routine schedule. So now that they have come home, we cannot just leave them to meander free, because idleness to a teenager is not free time. Idleness to a teenager is time to do anything, anytime. And it is important for parents, please be open. Tell your children the truth. Like the girl child, anybody telling you that you're sexy, that is not a compliment. Even the boy child, because now we know the people of LGB, any boy should never be told they are beautiful. So as we tell them about not accepting to be told that they are sexy as a compliment, we must also be able to give them affection. We must be able to love them. When we were being parented, we were just hammered. Now we must make sure that we hammer and we harmonize. Even when they have done what is not expected, do not cascade them. Bring them closer. Give them the time, give them the love, and give them attention. This generation is craving for attention. Parents, we must give them attention. As we give them attention, we must tell our teenagers that paying attention to rewarding, paying attention to warning is rewarding. So that at the end of the day, after we have corrected them, after we have told them everything else, as they go out there, they are able to be responsible of themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you're to diagnose this generation and everything that they have especially been criticized about, especially what they believe in, their morals, it always feels that even diagnosing it is a traumatic experience to parents and guardians for that matter. So you've said something very pertinent, which is attention, which is what we've heard some young people say. They rarely focus on us. You know, we have to figure out our way in life. Or sometimes even if their parents are focusing, they're seeing the struggle of their parents by taking them to school, what they've had to sacrifice. So they feel like they also have to work harder and take care of their parents. So they do not have time to also be children, you know, which is something that has been there, but the pressure of present day society. So what can we exactly say ails this generation? What are we missing here?
There's the level of peer pressure, and not only for teenagers, even to we parents is very high. So what we need to do as parents is come to their space. Like now they're saying we are not giving them attention. Let me bring it as in the 5 C's, where I had said earlier we connect with them. You're so connected such that you're able to feel their emotions. You know, these are the generation that says hand feel. The same way they say my boyfriend hand feel, can we parents be able to feel them? As we connect with them, we must be able to communicate. Tell them the risks, and tell them the sacrifice that you have made for them to go into school, but also tell them, project on them that they have a future. Project on them that they have to be goal-driven, purpose-driven, not to be a people pleaser. As we communicate to them, we also have to be able to eardrop on them and get to know what they're hearing. Like now there's a slogan out there which they tell themselves that mavajo nifara. So that you can be able now to straighten out, and that is why I come with the word of God. Then we have connected, we have communicated, now we can correct. We can correct all the wrong beliefs in themselves, where they believe like, my parent has struggled. Your parent has not struggled, by the way. Your parent has done the right thing. They had to sacrifice themselves for you, because a child is normally given birth And anything that is given birth, there's blood that comes out. The children are the most precious thing we have. I had said that earlier. So parents, for us to be able to correct them, we have to come to their space. We have to be available for them. As we are being available for them, we have to know that they are very vulnerable. Their vulnerability, so that even as we correct them, we are not correcting them to damage them. Then we must please pray that they're going to confine to us, because they are hurting. They have been called mshaba. They have been feeling like we are let down. Like now Christmas is coming, and we might not be able to afford that nice dress, that designer, whatever. We have to sit and communicate with them. We have to be able to plan ahead for our children. And as we plan ahead for our children, it is important for me to tell our parents that children love fun. Therefore, as a parent, we have to voice the concern that fun is not in immorality. There's no thrill in immorality. Unfortunately, parents, we want to sit and imagine that our children are not sexually active. We have to tell them that if you are sexually active, you are a candidate of private part disease. And private part disease should not be kept privately, because if you keep it privately, it will eat you privately and pain-free. So as we tell them that, we must make sure now we come to their space. They are still children. Teenagers are still children. But again, they are feeling like, no, we are adults. So we must make sure that we have some session where we are going to be humorous together with them, where we must do duties with them. As we structure and we give them a schedule of the day, let them not feel like they are our domestic workers. Let them know that we are doing this to shape their destiny, because we want them to be able to see themselves beyond being 23, so that they can know work does not kill anybody, by the way. And then they have to know that life is not just about money. There are values. Unfortunately, this generation, how can I say this now? Okay, 24. They even think that their private part is a working tool, where they have become sexually immoral, trying to make that extra money, going on social media, looking very desperate. And we have had very many girls meet online friends offline and they have been killed. Remember, I said be a scarecrow. Make sure that you tell your child whatever you have heard K24 talk about, so that this child can see the dramas that are happening in our nation, so they don't become another girl that was killed by having gone out. As I talk about that, and I said earlier that our children should not take the word "you look sexy" as a compliment, even when they are told that they have a big nyash. They think they think it's a compliment. It is important for us to be able to tell them how to throw it back to the person who is telling them about a big nyash. I normally tell them, if anybody tells you have a good big nyash, tell them even the zebra has a bigger and a better nyash.
I see.
Yes.
Right. So you said something very important, which is about parents being in denial. And also, some parents seem to not know what to do.
Okay.
They are very traumatized already when they think about what is happening on the ground or the little they've seen in their children. So they will go to an extent, quote unquote, when it comes to discipline, but they will not go the whole way, just in case they discover what they fear is what is actually happening in their homes, right? Now, can we also break down how parents can come out and confront whatever it is they feel is happening in their homes bravely, and also, like you said, not just strictly, but also to harmonize, know your children, be their friends, but also be firm?
Thank you. The best way is to reparent yourself. Take yourself back to the age of your teenager.